for service on the battlefield and beyond. 3 Bravo.
All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Liam Cogan. This is the 3 Bravo podcast, and we're doing a Veterans Benefits Breakdown today. Today, we're going to be covering the GI Bill. So if you understand what the GI Bill is, a lot of people do. In essence, it's free college if you go and serve your country, right? There's more nuance to it. There are things that you can do, and there's a process that you should probably follow before you even consider using it. And I'm going to go into a lot of that. Some of my process is going to be on my website, 3bravo.org, but a lot of what the GI Bill is straight up. It is straightforward, and understand if you do this the right way, you can transition out of the military, take some time to go to school, get paid while you do it, and find the career that is right for you. It takes some time to exit the military, take a wrap off, and figure out how the civilian world works. It won't feel like that, and you'll never, you almost never have this moment where you're like, oh yeah, that's it, but it will take some time. Now, the fun thing about the Veterans Benefit Breakdown is I break down a benefit in about 15 minutes or less. So you can walk away, listen to this while you're in the car, watch it while you're at work for 15 minutes, understand how a benefit works, and then hopefully be able to action it. Check out the links, the relevant links that you're going to need, and 3 key steps are going to be in the description of the video or the podcast. So let's kind of get into what the GI Bill consists of. So just to understand what it is, it was introduced in 1944 under the Servicemen's Readjustment Act, which basically just helped guys after World War II become capable applicants in the workforce, help these guys after experiencing what is hell on earth, get back into regular life. They needed a leg up, and the same thing has happened since we've introduced that act through Vietnam, Korea, the GWAT era, as we know the best. Now, the best way to understand the GI Bill is that you are getting a degree, you are learning how civilians speak, you are building your first network, you're taking some time to figure out your other benefits, your regular life, get stable, and you're earning BAH while you do it, okay? That is those 5 things, that is what this is for. This step is crucial. If you choose to blow off getting your degree, you are going to have this weird transition step that a lot of us have. I had it. My friends have all had it, where you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to do, and it feels like the only thing that you're supposed to do is be impressive and make money. After you leave the military, you lose status. Status is everything as you're a military person, because you aren't there to make money. You're there to go to war, and the only thing you get out of it is a okay paycheck and status. People think of you as a hero, or they at least appreciate your service. Some people do, not everybody, obviously, but you lose that, and then you try to find it back, and the only way that you can contemplate that in the civilian world is making money. Why does Elon Musk have all this status? He's making money, but Jeff Bezos making money. So a lot of people fixate on that, and you don't take that time to take a wrap off and get squared away. So how do we kind of break down the GI Bill? Well, as with every benefit, who is it for? The GI Bill, so if you're looking at the 9/11 GI Bill, it is for active duty. So if you went on active duty and you did 90 continuous days of active duty with an honorable discharge, or 30 continuous days with, 90 days honorable discharge, and that 90 days can kind of be separated, or 30 days continuous active duty. It's built that way so people who are called up to active duty from the reserves can also access this benefit. The Montgomery GI Bill was what we had before the 9/11 GI Bill, obviously created after 9/11. The Montgomery GI Bill, you have to pay into while you're in service, but as a reserve or National Guard member who's never done active duty service, you can access this benefit. So another thing to note that actually recently just changed as well is that if you have done non-continuous terms of service that at one time didn't qualify you for full access to the GI Bill, now if you had non-consecutive service, you do have access to the full 48 months of schooling. That's 48 months of getting paid to go to school. Understand that. This is no hack. This is no bullshit from the system. This is how you are supposed to use this benefit. No one will hold your hand. That is what I'm trying to do here. So the process, find your school. Find your school that you can, that that you can actually use the GI Bill at. It's almost every single school, because if you were a functioning school, why would you say no to money? The money's coming from the government. Who gives a shit? They're paying it on time every time. So find the school that works with your program. I'll post a link below in the description where you can actually, compare different BAH rates, and you can see if they actually accept the GI Bill, which they very likely will, especially if it's a state school. So the MHA BAH rate, that is something that you're going to look for alongside your program. This is something that other people aren't going to tell you. It is what I'm going to tell you. It's what if you paid one of these shyster privateers who are taking 10 grand from military members to help them with their transition and their career. I don't know what they call themselves, but that is what they're going to tell you as well. That's, I just shaved off 5 grand of their value. Find a school that has a high BAH or MHA. It's called, so you understand basic housing allowance is what we got in the military. For some reason, it's BAH. And then when you get out, it's military housing or monthly housing allowance, MHA. Same thing. Find a program that you want. So don't sacrifice your education for the BAH rate. But if you want to get an MBA, find the school closest to you that you're willing to drive to get the best BAH rate. So if I live in rural Ohio, I'm going to be looking for somewhere in Columbus, because Columbus is the fastest growing city in Ohio, and it's going to have the highest BAH rate in Ohio, probably at Ohio State, or maybe, something like Ohio Wesleyan, I don't know. But find the school that has the program and the BAH rate you're looking for. Pedigree is a thing too. Like if you're looking to go to Harvard or something, understand that if you went to MIT, you'd make more money because MIT has a higher BAH rate. So if you're looking in those places, if you're looking at Yale or Harvard or MIT, go to MIT. If you're looking at, Stanford or Golden Gate University, go to Golden Gate University, because Golden Gate University has the highest BAH rate in all of California. That's where I go. Apply for a certificate of eligibility. So after you find the school, they have a good BAH rate. You can drive there when you need to, which isn't a demanding schedule in almost any case, because to be a hybrid student, you need to take one hybrid class. Not every school is going to be the same, but that is generally the way they go. So one hybrid class means you show up to one classes in class dates, right? So in school, seats in butt. One class, whatever dates they have. For my class, it's 2 to 3 times a month. Maybe more for certain classes, maybe less for others, but 2 to 3 times a month for a master's program. Master's programs are going to be a lot more comfortable in that way, because they're built for adults who have businesses or have jobs. When you apply for your certificate of eligibility, if you're wondering if you're eligible for the GI Bill, just go apply. Let them do the work. Don't go search for hours. They're not going to be mad at you. Go apply. The link's below, like I said, for their certificate of eligibility as well. And then reach out to your school admin once you have your COE, and let them know you're using the GI Bill. So find that school, start your enrolling process, let them know you're going to use the GI Bill, and then things will take care of themselves. You're not going to have to pony up cash for XYZ. If you're using the GI Bill, almost every school is going to waive your enrollment fee as well, and then enroll if they accept the GI Bill. So that is your track to get into school. Start talking to the school administration. This is not like the military. You have to be a big boy. You have to go do stuff on your own. You have to call the school. You have to call, you have to call the VA. You have to do things on your own. There's no big daddy who's protecting you. Your SEA is not there to figure things out for you. It's big boy time. That's why it's really important to do these things before you get your job, or get your job at the same time. Do it in tandem, crush it. There plenty of people crush military service, post-military life. Tons of people. So what I want to talk about, that's the process, right? Then you're enrolled in your classes, you're actively going to school, and you basically have a few check-ins, and they're going to be taking that cash out, and they're going to be paying for your school directly. And then if you get BAH, you just know that if you get financial aid, or BAH or MHA, if you get anything from the government or the school, as far as money's concerned, it's coming from the school. It's not going to be coming from the VA. So you'll get a VA check, but you need to talk to the school and set up your direct deposit. Okay. So instead of getting a check in the mail and missing out on that cash, make sure you talk to your school's administration, and you get on top of having your direct deposit squared away. And that's going to be, maybe you can do it yourself, maybe you can't. Not every school is the same. And I don't know what every single school in the country is doing, let alone, outside the country. So let's go into something else. I want you to check out my last. So if you're considering using your GI Bill, I want you to check out my last podcast, the very first Veterans Benefits Breakdown. It is about VRE. If you are able to access VRE, use it first. If you don't know if you are, check out the podcast. You'll find out. The next thing is that in order to get your full BAH rate or your full MHA, do not fuck this up. You need to take at least one hybrid class. This is going to be different per school, but it is generally the same. So ask the school, be a big boy. I'm not telling you how to do everything. Go to your class, ask them if it's if you have to take more than one hybrid class to satisfy the in-school requirement for BAH. And don't pussyfoot around it. Tell them exactly why you're asking. I want to know how to get the full BAH allotment. And if they're like, oh, I can't talk about it, say, I want to talk to someone who can, because this is my benefit. This is my right to know. So one hybrid class and a full course load. That doesn't mean you take more courses. You can. If you want to get your degree done faster, take more courses. That's fine. But you can take the minimal full course load, which for a lot of undergrad is going to be 4 classes. And for a lot of graduate degrees, it's going to be 2 or 3. So for the MBA program, you could potentially be taking one online class and one hybrid class, showing up butts and seats twice every 3 months, and be making somewhere in the ballpark of $2,000 to $4,000 a month. That is the perfect transition boost. Find the highest rate near you. If you don't do that part, you could be losing out on hundreds of dollars to get an education because you don't want to drive as far. Look into it. Everyone's personal balance is going to be the same. I'll go really far to get the money because I don't care about driving, because I lived in an RV for 2 years. But some people don't like to drive, so you're only willing to go an hour. That's fine. If you're willing to go 2 hours, even better. Find out what your school requires of you and then act afterwards. So a lot of people are going to have questions about 9/11 versus Montgomery. So if you have access to 9/11, use 9/11 because 9/11 pays BAH. End of story. If you don't have access to 9/11, like you were in the reserves and you're looking for your Montgomery, understand that you need to pay into the Montgomery around, I think it's like $1,200 while you're still in the reserves, and then you can action your benefit. There's not too much I want to say about the Montgomery benefit. Other than that, it works a little different. They pay you directly, and then you pay your school instead of the GI Bill just taking care of it for you. So if you have access to 9/11, it is better. Just use it. If you don't, you can check out the website. We have some articles on it, and you can also send me a direct message if you need more information, or you want to spread some good word to your platoon. And I'm happy to talk to any platoon of people. If you want to set up a web call, if you have your platoon in that kind of way, I am happy to talk to anyone at any time. I'm booking my 2025 schedule for talking to businesses and their veteran department and their veteran representatives about how veterans can elevate their lives. Here's the last thing that I'm going to leave you with for the GI Bill. Understand that there are a few other ways to extend this. So if you don't have access to VRE, you've almost used up all your GI Bill. There are a few ways to extend this. One thing I want to say before that is you get a book stipend every year. It's around $1,000. So remember that at some point in time, you're going to get an extra $1,000, and that is to be spent on books. If you want to spend it any other way, they're not going to check your taxes, but books are really expensive in school. So if you don't see it coming, you're probably going to be spending $1,000 a year, and those books are stupid, and you're going to use 6 pages of it. It's very frustrating, but it's an industry of its own, so you just got to play the game. You have FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. That is going to be a jug. If you don't take it out like it is free money. A lot of people are thinking that right now because of loan forgiveness. It is only forgiven if you are 100% totally and permanently disabled. If you are 100%, you can take out that loan and it will be forgiven. If you are 100%, take out that loan. It will be forgiven. We don't know how long that benefit's going to last, but it's here for now. Take it out. Use the money. If you don't think you need the money, guess what? You do. There's a reason the veteran community has the highest suicide rate of any community. There are more people that have killed themselves from the GWAT era that have ever died in combat from America, excluding the Civil War. But in total, suicides are by far our greatest issue. FAFSA can help with that. Spend that money wisely, and then you can get loan forgiveness if you're 100%. There's also the Yellow Ribbon Program. Look it up. If you are out of money for your college degree and you need to finish it, they will help you out there. There are Pell Grants and there are other grants. Look at the FAFSA website, federal application for free application for federal student aid, and you will see all the other grants that are offered there. And you can actually Google or ChatGPT some of the other grants that are going around that are specific to your branch. There are a lot of SOF operator grants. There are specific SEAL grants. Do your due diligence, get your schooling done, learn how civilians talk, and make your transition the right way. I'm Liam Cogan. This is the 3 Bravo podcast. This is a Veterans Benefits Breakdown, and this is the GI Bill. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.